right, Luis Arias, just thoughts on the scoring in Julio, Cesar, Chavez, Brian Vera.
I thought that was horrible judging. One of the judges had him winning, I think, was it 7-8 rounds?
8-2, yeah.
8-2. I mean, that's just ridiculous. And it's another problem that there's in the boxing game with these judging. Once again, we have another horrible judging within a few couple weeks. You know, it makes you look bad on the sport. But, I mean, there's nothing you can do. Again, it's not Chavez's fault. Chavez wears gloves. It's not nobody's fault, you know, because, you know, we're not judging. But it's a serious problem, though, and I think something needs to be taken care of.
Right, you touched on that Floyd 114-114.
Yeah.
This fight here, unanimous decision. I don't think a single media person ringside had Vera losing the fight, especially 8-2. What, if anything? I mean, you said can anything be done to fix this, the scoring and scoring?
Yeah, I think some serious repercussions need to be put in place. You know, just to potentially scare the judges. I don't know. I mean, something needs to be done. Whether it's through you know, consequences, whether it's through picking the judges better or better in the requirements and the criteria, whatever it is, something needs to be done because this is just horrible. It's a bad look, and it's turning people away from boxing. You know, this is how you push people away, is with these bad decisions.
Right now, I saw Virgil Hunter even kind of hinted in one quick interview that he saw some
judges on top.
Yeah.
Of it. You know what? I wouldn't put it past him. You know, this is it's a huge business. It's a political business, and things like that happen. So, like I said, it's just a bad look on the sport, and it's something that we definitely need to clean up.
Now, a lot of people would say you're an up-and-coming fighter. You would be what's called the made fighter, I guess, because you're an up-and-coming guy with Floyd. However, we saw with Floyd 114-114 that it being on his side isn't always either. So does that make you nervous as a fighter, knowing that even if you get the job done, but don't knock out your opponent, you still might get a raw deal?
Absolutely not. I mean, this just means we have to train harder, make sure we win every single round, you know, more convincingly, and we gotta start knocking people out. You know, Eddie Mustafa Muhammad tells me all the time not to leave it in the judge's hands. So we're gonna have to take that more seriously and incorporate that in our training, and just you know, not focus on it too much where it throws you away from your game plan, but at the end notice what's going on. So we'll keep it in mind to it while we're training and for the rest of my career.
All right, so you had Vera winning the fight then?
Yeah, I did. I had him winning the fight. He was much busier. He landed more punches. Clearly, Chavez was out of shape. In the beginning, it looked like he was controlling the fight, but at the end, it looked like he was running. I mean, he had weight issues the entire week. I mean, there was so many clues leading up to a bad decision going on that it doesn't surprise me, but I have Vera winning the fight.
All right, thank you. All right, Mo, over the weekend, Julio, Cesar, Chavez, Brian Vera, very questionable unanimous decision in favor of Chavez Jr. Thoughts on that?
But boy, I was stuck in Ontario still. Man, I was trying to make it down there, but I was stuck, man. I got my rental car late, everything happened bad because my flight got delayed going out there. But I thought my boy won, man. I thought he won handedly. And, you know, it's part of the game, man. He cheats you. They got to cheat you to beat you, you know what I'm saying? And that's what they did with my boy Brian.
Now that's two fights in a row. We had a 114-114 in Floyd Mayweather Canelo, especially the 8 rounds of 2 in this fight here. What's going on with the judging in combat sports? Because it's not boxing alone. We know it's MMA too. So combat sports overall, what's going on with the judging, and what, if anything, can be done to fix it?
They should have seminars. But one of my seminars is they should have every 3 months they should have judges come by, and as a group they should judge fights and talk, you know, just have discussions. They should, like, you know, go in there and be like, show the judges what's effective. Like, hey, this leg kick works because there's proper technique done when you turn the hip over. If you see this leg kick, you hear this sound or slap, it's not really effective. Now, if you see him limping, it is effective. You know, same thing with the body shots, same thing with the volume, you know what I'm saying? Like, Brian Vera out-punched the guy, went to his body, busted him up. Well, granted, Brian got rocked like 3 times, but only 3 times, you know what I'm saying, in a 10-round fight. Yeah. Brian outworked him.
Now, do you think it's a question always? I mean, I guess in some cases it is, but do you think it's always a question of just the judges not knowing what they're looking at, or there's something else going on sometimes? And people throwing out the corruption, that kind of thing, especially with somebody like Chavez, you know, who's you know, quote unquote the made fighter in the fight.
It's about preference. I don't know. It's a little bit of everything. Preferences, what the judges ain't seeing. People are cheating, you know what I'm saying? That's how the game goes, dog, you know what I'm saying?
And then as a fighter, final thing, just what does that tell you going into a fight, especially for someone like Brian going into a fight who's supposed to be, someone just there to build Chavez back up? Does that kind of make you have to go for broke a little more than maybe you might?
Well, you never know, you know what I'm saying? You don't know, because, if I was Brian, I would celebrate, win the fight too, you know what I'm saying? You can't just, you go for broke, you might make a mistake. The name of the game is to win rounds. That's what Brian did, you know what I'm saying? They got to do an investigation to make sure everything is right.
Any chance he gets a rematch?
If I was Chavez, I would rematch Brian, get my ass for the second time. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying, I feel like Chavez lost that fight.
All right, Mo, thanks. All right, Lydell Roach, Julio, Cesar, Chavez, Brian Vera. What was your thoughts on the decision when it was read, and do you agree with it?
I thought that they was gonna give it to him. He's a cash cow for him, so I thought they'd give it to him. But I think it was more close to a draw. But me myself, I like Brian Vera. He's bringing a lot of intelligent pressure. But I like what Julio Cesar was doing in the early rounds, like the first 3 rounds. I thought they give it to Vera. I thought that he was winning the first 3 rounds. I think he pulled off was a 6 and 7 because he hurt Vera, and then the 10th round he might have squeaked out. So I think he could have possibly won 6 rounds. So it was a draw, or he could have swung 6 rounds for either one of them. So it was a close fight.
What do you think about 8-2?
8-2.
The one judge had it 8-2 in favor of Chavez.
Hell no. Shit, most people give it, for pressure. And so it just depends how you look on it. Some people like pressure, some people like boxing, but I think it was more towards the draw, to be honest.
What do you think could be done? We had to fix the judges and get scoring that. I know everyone sees things different, but what can be done to fix it and get it a little more in line with reality, maybe?
You have to take out the business part of boxing, which isn't going to happen. Everybody's going to go and pull for the cash cows, and all the judges, they're not going to mess up their money, mess up everybody else's money by letting the cash cows lose. So Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. is bringing in all the fans and everything, so he's going to get the decision 9 times out of 10, and the 1 out of 10 is probably going to be a draw.
And how does that affect the sport as far as fans go?
I think it affects the fighters more but Brian Vera didn't look like he was too affected because he knew that he did good in the fight, possibly won it. But the fans, fans don't like it, but me being a fighter and having a big fan base, I like it. So, if I'm in a close fight, I know that kind of fan base, I might win.
All right, Lydell, thanks. All right, Mike Hunter, your thoughts on the Julio Cesar Chavez Brian Vera verdict?
I kind of felt I actually had called the fight. I thought Vera did enough to win the fight, but it's just I think it's kind of the politics thing, and he was he's Chavez Jr. So I don't think it was intentional, but I think it was wrong no matter what. I think they should have. The fight was won by Vera.
And just from a fan standpoint, for new fans or boxing trying to recruit fans, how do when they know it's politics and stuff like that, they give someone like Chavez the victory. How does that affect new fans coming in, and how bad do you think it is for the sport?
Man, it's horrible. I think that's one of our biggest problems as far as boxing is concerned. It's so iffy sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's a good thing for the fans. Especially as newcomers as well. I think it just puts a bad name, and then especially we got these other entities like these other mixed martial arts and all that coming up and doing different things that kind of brings their interest to them. You know what I'm saying? So.
And as a fighter, how did that affect you going into a fight, knowing, like Brian probably did, that you had to do more than enough to win?
Man, well, I kind of been dealing with it for a long time. Even in the amateurs. It's something you kind of go in there knowing anyway, you know what I'm saying, and that this is the sport, so you kind of have to go beyond the call of duty, so I can't really, it's the sport, so.
And this last thing, anything been done to fix it that you can think of?
I don't even know. We need to love more and stop hating.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it.